I do love anime, but I have to admit that it has its fair share of problems. And when these problems show up, you're either left confused or fearful of what's going to happen next in a series that you're watching that you might be enjoying. Here, I'm going to list what those problems are, but don't worry, it's not going to be an extremely long list. It's just going to be me giving a short synopsis of what each one of these problems are. This list has no particular order of any sort. I'm just listing down all the problems as I see them. There's no number 1, there's no number 10, it's just the problems I have in anime. This list could also be considered my top cliches in anime as well, because these problems happen to show up so many times that they've become cliches in themselves. If you've watched anime long enough, you already know about the trap of high school. It doesn't matter what genre of anime you're trying to watch, in one way or another, high school, or less often middle or elementary school, will be associated with it in some way or shape or form. Whether you're watching a romance, a drama, a romantic comedy, action, supernatural, thriller, doesn't really matter. High school will stick with you no matter what. My second problem is pretty much linked with the first one, because this one is that the characters are all underage. Since there's so much high school anime, most of the characters that we follow throughout the story are all at age 15 or 16 or below. But don't you wish we could have shows like Baccano or most Gundams where it's more balanced out, where there are more adults who have an influence on the story and impactful? Third in this trilogy, following the high school trend, is Moe. I don't need to say anything more about it, it's Moe. I need to watch plenty and plenty of anime, and they are all unique in their own way, but that's only as I was first viewing them. As of late, I feel as if all of these shows that come out nowadays have no originality to them. They're all trying to copy and paste and be the next like K-On! Or the next One Piece for the showing category, but it feels like none of them are trying to be themselves, so all we're getting is a bunch of clones of each other. Alright, now I'm finally done talking about the whole high school thing. So now I'll jump straight into the problems that are more consistent in how anime are made today. The first one being that there's simply too many anime out there right now. Like, there's an overabundance. Every single year there's at least 40 or 50 anime made, but compared to TV series or movies even, there's not more than, for TV shows, maybe 10 made a year that are really good, and movies there's maybe another 15 there. But for anime, they just keep on churning them out over and over and over again, the same stuff, and it goes back to the first 3 problems I've already listed, how there's too much high school and moe underage characters. It makes it very hard to take anime seriously. And next, there are the animes that come out that are only there to help promote the mangas, so-called trailer animes. These would include things like Air Gear and Berserk and Claymore, all of them good series in themselves. I haven't seen Berserk or Air Gear, but I'm pretty sure they're worth the attention that they get. But I like to watch most of my stuff in animated medium and form because it's just easier to get into that way. More episodes are streamed right there in front of me, and so I can just catch up to the series for a very fast and respectable manner, because reading it is too intensive for some people because it takes a lot of focus. But when you have all these animes out there that are just saying go read the manga after you're done, but leave you on a cliffhanger or a completely nonsensical ending, it's very irritating to say the least. Now, the next one's a little minor in comparison, but it does have an overall impact on anime. That would be the constant switching of openings and endings for series. If you go into especially the long shonens, you'll see that Fairy Tail and One Piece and all sorts of others have over 25 openings and 40 endings at a time. This may seem like it means much, but you have to realize that in order to create all these openings and endings, resources have to be diverted over to that, resources that could help maintain that music of the show so you can get better music while actually watching the show, or the pacing issues and the filler. So it's not worth diverting those funds for openings that you don't even listen to, because again, who knows what the most recent Fairy Tail opening or One Piece or the Naruto especially, no one watches those really, so there's no point in even diverting funds over to them, right? Most of my concerns have been shonen focused, but that's because I've watched a lot of shonen shows. And this one again is almost exclusive only to Shonen, wherein that these shows go on for way longer than they have to. The prime example is One Piece. I've always stated before, it could be 500 chapters or less. Naruto has overstayed its welcome so much with this whole war and pointless arcs that it's thrown into it that have just had no purpose in the overall scheme of things. Bleach kind of did this because its 4-wing arc could have been taken out completely. Fairy Tail it's going at its proper pace, and if it ends right as it should, it'll be done before like 500 chapters are up. The only shows that I can really give exceptions to are like Kenichi and Ippo and things like that, because they take a more human approach to things. And Madoka Box actually done it right and ended before 200 chapters, and I love that about it, even though I had to really catch up with it because I only at the abnormal part. I wish there's more shows could follow the example of something like Ippo, where they space out each season by 5 or 6 years if they have to, just to make sure they have better quality than it should have. Now, this next trait is pretty much unique only to Shonen because time skips done are mostly used in Shonen, and they are not very good most of the times. Because between the Naruto one, Bleach, One Piece, the Fairy Tail, all of them aren't really that good. The only time skip I can think of in general that's really good is like Claymore, but for the rest of them it's like the mangas don't know what they're going to do for the next half of their series. I love romance in animes, or just the medium in general, because it allows for all these dynamic relationships between characters and for things to keep on progressing in a way that keeps the show interesting if done properly. But that's the problem here, is that anime have all these pointless love interests, and not even just in Shonen, but in many other shows in which nothing's going to happen. Even if you exclude harems from that list, because obviously that's the whole point of those shows, there's still plenty of other animes in which you know there's nothing going to happen in relationships, or the manga just create these relationships that we really want to see, but they never do anything with them anyway, so we're stuck just wanting but never having. When romance is done properly, it can be one of the greatest elements of any story, and some anime are actually able to pull this off and make you feel such a great sense of satisfaction from actually watching this journey that you see the characters go through. The next few fall pretty much more under the cliche category than the prom category, starting with The Lost Arm, because no matter which one you look at, and most shonen fighting shows, whether it be Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Fairy Tail, Yu Hakusho, hell, even things like Toriko, there's always a character who in some way loses use of an arm or just loses the entire arm altogether. Examples that stretch further than you could even think if you just really put your mind to it. There are a lot of impressive things that anime characters can do, and they can sometimes even surprise themselves. In Shonen, that's done a lot because most of the time you'll see that the characters are always screaming that it's impossible, or this can't be done, or that you're saying it shouldn't be possible. But it's like, if you really put your mind to it, you could really see some of these things being done. But it seems like now they're just spamming that word phrase as if it's going to bring in all the crowds. Next would be the average person with just a little bit of intelligence, or just the average person in general who's a complete idiot. It's like all we get are these generic main characters now, like cookie cutter paste, and we never get any really good designs or anything that tries to be unique in its own style, like Code Geass, Death Note, Claymore. And this applies to females as well, because there have been some really good designs like Yuno Gasai from Future Diary and Saber from Fate Zero. So I'm just really tired of having all these generic cookie cutter bland styles that have just no personality themselves outside the stereotypes that they're built from. Back onto the shonen, we get the anime sickness. Characters such as Itachi, Whitebeard, Sensui, and many others who we've known all have some immediate sickness that prevents them from finding their maximum power, or just stricken with something that just like holds them back so badly that we never get to see their full potential. So this is what I try not to notice, but it's really hard not to nowadays, and that would be like the really short hairs that some of these female characters wear, because well, I'm a guy, I just notice these kind of things naturally, and I never really thought it'd be this prevalent, but it is, and it's a little disturbing sometimes. These are all the problems and cliches that I found in anime, and more of them build up as I accumulate even more shows under my belt, but for now these are the ones that stand out to me the most, that I just can't go without speaking about any longer. Give me your thoughts and comments about them in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, and have a nice day.